on baking science, and I am going to see if I could get my mic hooked up so that you don't get a... Give me a sec. All right. Audio visual assistant right here. I'm gonna make everything work out just right. All right. I hope you guys can hear me. I don't see anything, but we shall see. I'm just getting my team to reply on whether they get to see me. And yeah, that's not working. That's weird. So we are getting a lot of questions from different places. We've got a lot to cover today. So hopefully I will be having a chance to answer you. Okay. Well, hello, YouTube. We're on. Okay. I'm using something new today just to give it a try and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I will try to do it again. All right. And let's get to answering questions. I hope you are all doing great. And the first question is, hello, everyone. I really need your help. My flour is not strong enough, and I haven't a customer in my store. Can you help me? That's kind of an unclear question. I hope it's the English language that's the problem here, the translation. I cannot help you if you don't tell me more about the flour that you're using. So you need to be specific. What is the flour used for? Is it bread, cookies, cakes? Name the product, and then we can go from there. Okay? Sorry I can answer your particular question today, but I need more specifics. Comment on our Ask Dr. Lin channel, episode 19. I am very confused about the function of gliadin and glutenin in gluten concerning dough elasticity and viscosity, rubbery texture. I do want an explanation by picture. Thank you very much for your website. So we will get pictures on the gluten page. I assume we had previously, but I guess it's gone now since the update. We will update it again. Basically, gluten and gliadin are the main forms of protein in gluten that gives it its elasticity and viscosity, the flow. So the gliadins that glide are actually, are round molecules that actually slide like ball bearings, so they glide really well. A lot of gliadins, like in rye flour, will make it a very flowy dough. Okay. Too much glutenin will make it too tight and too bucky. So you can't really manipulate these in your flour. So it's nice that but really unless you're part of a wheat breeding program, you can't really tell how much gluten or gliadin that ends up in your flour. So I hope that explains a little better to you on the functionality of gluten and gliadin. All right. Hi, Dr. Lynn. I watched your video on ascorbic acid, and I really appreciate the detailed explanation. You are welcome. I'm glad somebody likes my work. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. All right. God bless you. My question: what will be the best advice you can give me on malt extract application in a straight dough method? So there are many ways that you can improve your flour for the straight dough method. Malt is just one of them. You can also use aged flour, dough improvers, sponge and dough, longer fermentation. But certain people just like to use malt because they were taught that way. Okay, so there's more than one way to do this. Okay, a malt is some form of a dough conditioner, alpha amylase, that's great for oven spring. Okay, some studies have shown that it performs really well in the oven if you use malt enzymes, and you want to use diastatic malt too. So go ahead and look at our page on diastatic and non-diastatic malt to learn a little bit more about what malt actually do in the flour. Okay, and malt application can be both on sponge and dough systems or straight dough systems. It works the same way. In sponge and dough systems, it is actually working a little bit more because you're giving it a little more time for it to work. Okay, so good luck on that. I really like the flavor of malt, and I use a lot of non-diastatic malt in my bakery applications just for the extra flavor. Question for the artificial preservatives page. Just want to check in to see if there are any comments. All right. Sorry, guys. And greetings to the Bakerpedia family. First of all, thank you for so much guidance and expertise provided on this platform. You're welcome. We really appreciate it as well. I was just wondering if you could answer my question. What will be the best preservative to preserve vegan cake better? Let me check something. I think the connection's a little bad, but we will try to see if we could better that. Maybe I could close a window so that this computer doesn't work so hard. Just give me a minute to improve the video quality. Yeah, that's not quite working, is it? I hope. Yep, it's not connected, guys. Sorry. Give me a minute. Things happen when you do live streams. There you go. Hopefully that works. There you go. Hopefully this works. Yay! All right. How about now, Joanna? Okay, yay! We got that fixed. Best IT person in the world. Okay. Next question. Um, what is the best preservative to use in a vegan cake product? And does potassium sorbate and sodium benzoate have a bad reputation even after being a grass product? Why do they have a bad reputation? So, potassium sorbate and sodium benzoate are absolutely safe to consume at the levels that they are legislated um, for application in for production plants with GMPs. And you can search them up a little bit more on our pages on Wikipedia. And they are like the best preservatives, right? Um, Mainly because your cake batter probably has a high water activity, and not too many things do work in that scenario. So I would suggest to stick with these preservatives if you need to increase the shelf life of your cake. Other things you might consider would be cultured whey, cultured wheat, calcium propionate as well. Sometimes people do mix sorbic acid with calcium propionate. So you just have to try a combination of preservatives. But there is nothing wrong with these couple of preservatives that you mentioned, mainly because they are grass products. Okay. Hello, Dr. Lin. I was just wondering if you could help me with an issue I faced today. I have a client who makes par baked bread for restaurants. He used to import flour, and the flour he decided to switch to has 13% protein, 100 ppm of ascorbic acid, and some amylases. He's experiencing sticking of the loaf on the baguette molded tray during blast chilling. Not good. Doesn't sound good. That sounds like a nightmare. All right. He is also adding a dough improver. Obviously, it's got to do with water absorption because the new flour is not an aged flour, and the recipe is around 65% water. He can't coat the tray since he is scared for damaging his equipment, and any fat added will become rancid. That's correct. Don't add fat. I've asked him to age his flour for at least a week because his French flour is 2 months old. Is a week enough? No, a week is not enough. 2 weeks, maybe, but the best would be a month. Okay? So, what you're trying to do here is simulate aged flour. Go to our aged flour page and read a little bit more about aged flour. Go to our gluten page and read a little bit more about gluten. The effect of aging on gluten is significant enough to cause the processing problems right here. Okay? Mainly because I suspect that the gluten portion is not oxidized enough, and the glutenin portion of things are not working well enough to be more viscoelastic, right? So the lack of viscoelasticity in an aged flour is going to make it more sticky at the rounder bars. I really don't think there's anything that you can do around this other than asking your dough improver provider to reformulate the dough improver so that you can get more oxidation into the system to work on the glutenin portion to make it more viscoelastic. I hope that makes sense, right? Because if you think that it's a water absorption issue, I think that is not the right way to look at it. A better way to look at it is the gluten functionality has been affected, and therefore you need to affect it in a different way by really oxidizing the gluten portion. And you can do this through all the oxidizing agents, right? Go to our page on oxidizing enzyme solutions, ascorbic acid. So you got a bunch of things you can work with. Or ask your dough improver provider to provide a blend that has a stronger oxidizing effect on your dough, because you don't have any aged flour, and aged flour is pretty much oxidized, okay, naturally oxidized. So yes, you can keep it for a week, but at this volume, who has space to keep flour around for a week or 2 weeks? Like, there's no space whatsoever, okay? Aged flour, the best aged flour would be 4 to 8 weeks, okay? So even though we keep 2 weeks, it's really not going to help the sticking to the pan. So I suggest really changing back to the aged flour, or reformulate your dough improver system so that it can provide more oxidation so that it becomes less sticky. Good luck. It's a hard problem to solve, you know. Sometimes cost is just cost savings creates more cost. I don't know if that makes sense, but it could. Hello, Lynn. I have a question regarding brioche. Is there a legal requirement to name a product brioche? We need to add egg, butter, and sugar. Also, is there a legal requirement to add the minimum quantity of the above ingredients to call it brioche product? So we are in the United States. So in the United States, there is a lot of lax regulations around bread definition. We only have one. And if you could just search bread rolls on our website, it will just pretty much give you the total solids and the moisture. That's it. That's what you call bread. Brioche wise, it's a variety, just like ciabatta, just like sourdough. You know, there is no legal definition for what a brioche is. I do not know what are the regulations in the UK. Perhaps you can look that up too. Okay, brioche is a pretty new industrialized bun product. So I'll be surprised if there is any legal definition anywhere for it other than maybe France or something. So there's no legal definition of it. But, so this is a huge but, right? It is going to fall back on your branding, right? It's going to fall back on what you stand for. If you're a bakery that bakes brioche, and your customer is educated enough to say, hey, you're supposed to have eggs, you know, butter, sugar in there. Why aren't there any eggs? You know, then you gotta, you know, focus on a whole PR story on why you took eggs out of your brioche, right? So I guess the biggest limit to the ingredients would be your brand. Like, what does your brand stand for? If your brand stands for good quality products, don't skim back on these things. And if you want to use as little as possible of eggs and butter, get it to a point where you can get the product an aromatic and flavorful product. You know, sometimes that it doesn't go down below 5% total dry flour weight. Okay, so there has been a lot of push over the years on trying to make fake brioche that can be produced on allergen-free lines. And yes, that can be done. Yes, it can look like brioche, but it's not really brioche. Okay, again, back to the brand, what you stand for. If you're a Wendy's or a McDonald's or a big brand food service and you're going to serve brioche and you don't have eggs in there, that's kind of like shame on you, right? You're supposed to sell quality products. You're supposed to sell products that have the real stuff in it. Like, don't cut corners. So unless you really don't care about your brand, you're just producing a food service product, then do whatever the hell you want. Cut up the eggs, cut up the whatever it is. You know, there's no bread involved. No one's stopping you, right? But if you want to produce a good brioche, I would heavily recommend you use eggs, butter, sugar, and top grade, because the best brioche in the world is just amazing in taste. And that's what we expect as customers asking for brioche. Okay? Good luck. Next question. I have a customer that says they cannot use mineral oil as a processing aid. Yes, don't use mineral oil as a processing aid, please. If you are spraying mineral oil on your dough divider, on your chunker, whatever it is, mineral oil is not meant for that application. If your dough is sticking that much, you have a problem with the dough, which means you need to look into water absorption and the oxidation system. If the dough is too sticky for the equipment to handle, you have a problem with the dough. Stop spraying mineral oil, okay? Can I recommend another oil that will not go rancid and will not gum up? Sorry, again, everything gums up. If you use any kind of vegetable oil, they will gum up. The issue you're having is really the absorption and the wrong dough improver, okay? So if you do a little more R&D into this, contact your dough improver people, tell them what your problem is. Problem is not the oil. The problem is your dough. You need to have a drier dough to be able to process that thing, okay? If you are getting issues with dryness of the dough, with having molder holes and all that, that's also another issue, right? It means that you don't have proper talent in your plant to solve this issue. So stop spraying the mineral oil. Look into getting some R&D help to reformulate the dough so the dough can go through the dough dividers. Don't forget, some of your rounder bars needs to be changed out. Okay, once you change those out, it'll stick less. All right, so a whole bunch of issues. Okay, it's not just the oil. So stop spraying everything around there. And please don't put mineral oil in our buns and bread products. Okay, all right. How do you get steam buns to look white rather? So let me tell you that I'm not a steam bun expert, but off the top of my head, it's got to do with the quality of the steam bun flour. And if you use the right kind of steam bun flour and the right kind of, pretty much the milling of the steam bun flour has a really low extraction rate. So basically, less bran, low in ash, and a very, very low soft quality kind of flour. Okay, so steam buns need a particular kind of flour. If your steam buns are looking brownish, that means you are using the wrong kind of flour. Don't use bread flour. Go to an Asian baking place or supermarket to get their steam bun flour. That's the only way to make your steam buns whiter. And if you are a manufacturer who wants to produce steam buns, then you need to purchase soft wheat flour with a low extraction rate. Millers have those things, you just have to ask for it. Okay? All right, let's see what else. Let me know if you guys have any questions I can answer. All right, video is bad again. No idea why. Let's see. Okay, it's all connected. One more question before I close today's session down. I've been having a bad challenge finding information online for preserving baked goods made with a combination of golden flax meal and coconut flour. Also, mine contains eggs, coconut oil, water, apple cider vinegar, and dried onion powder. I've been trying sodium propionate at 2% and up to a week. um, hmm. I'm trying to get a clean preservative, but I'm stuck. There isn't a lot of information out there extending shelf life of low carb gluten baked products. Help. Okay, so molding is very universal. So, regardless of whether you are a carb, high fat product, as long as your water activity is above zero point 0.7, you are going to experience mold issues. Okay, um, please go look at my previous videos on shelf life extension and use those techniques to really extend the shelf life of your keto based product. And really, it's the same concept, keto or non keto. The mole's going to eat your product. It's not, it doesn't discriminate that way. It's just delicious. It's just delicious food for the mole. You got to understand that. But if you provide the same moisture as any baked goods, the mole's going to grow as well. The thing is to reduce the moisture. So bake out more. And oh yeah, that's the biggest problem is you don't have sugar. Sugar is a great humectant. It also reduces water activity. So since you removed all the sugar, you don't have extra water binding solutions happening in it. Low carb, you can't add any other hydrocolloids or modified starches. So that's a big problem, right? So I will go straight to sorbic acid and Calpro or cultured wheat. Try those things. Oh, you can't do cultured wheat. Can you do cultured whey? Yeah, you can do cultured whey. Cultured whey and Calpro sorbic acid. Those will not affect your net carbs. Okay? And I need to understand this keto trend a little bit more because I saw how one company calculated net carbs the other day and I'm really flabbergasted. I mean, that does not make sense in terms of nutritional sciences to take away total carbs from the fiber. Yeah. No, somebody thought of this as a marketing move. It's not nutritionally science safe. So, should come from starches, hydrocolloids, or sugars. Okay. And since it's a keto product, you can't put any of the preservatives that are based on that carbohydrate system that's going to increase your net carbs. Okay. Good luck. Again, I want you guys to please join my academy. By joining my academy, you'll be able to follow me and you'll be able to get all the things that we publish in terms of papers and live streams for free. So go and sign up today. It's bakerpedia.com/academy. All right. This is taking longer than I said it would, as usual, because there's just a lot of questions coming through in a week. I am hoping I answered your question correctly and to your satisfaction. If not, go and purchase a answer a question product. That's right here on our website, and it's $100 a question. And only then I can get it thoroughly solved for you. Okay? That's all for this week. And I hope you have a great week. If you have any more questions concerning the topics that you are researching on Bakerpedia, place it in the comment section and my team will get it to me. All right? Have a nice one.